Okay, so welcome everyone to the eMed AKT Pass Guarantee Program orientation for the 150-day program for the April 2024 exam. Can't believe we're talking about April exams already. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is a brief session, half an hour today, a chance for you to meet the team, understand how does the PGP work, how do you submit your weekly tasks, what happens to make sure that the daily tasks get automatically submitted, and then a chance for you to ask any questions. So use the chat as you've been doing for any comments to get involved in the discussion. If you've got a question that you'd like myself or the faculty to pick up, please use the Q&A for that, okay? And joining me to deal with queries on the faculty, we've got Masouda Rahman from the Core eMedica team and Dr. Kennedy Umej, who is our PGP mentor. He'll be just giving you some motivation and some advice shortly. Okay, so let's begin. Those of you that booked a while ago, you should already have received your welcome box. Those that signed up, we had a few people signed up in the last few days. Your box will be with you by the start of next week at the latest, hopefully. But within that, when you open it, you'll see that there's a flyer with this on it, and on the back of it is your checklist to tick off your daily emails. And it's a really important message that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's famously attributed to Lao Tzu. Now, preparing for AKT can seem like a huge task. The curriculum's massive. There's so many different resources out there. Sometimes people don't know where to start. How do I cover the curriculum? Whose advice should I listen to? Which resources? It can be a bit overwhelming just to even organize it. Never mind the actual learning, of course, takes a lot of hard work, right? So I want to say thank you for taking that first step. That's a huge step in that you've joined a structured program and that you're putting your faith in our team to help guide you along the way. You're going to have to put in the hard work, but by us preparing the journey for you, by structuring it so we make sure we cover all the important topics, what it allows you to do is just focus on one step at a time. You don't have to worry, how will I get to the top of the mountain? Just worry about, we're on this step today. When you get your first email, worry about completing that work before the next email. And then when you get the next one, worry about that. Just focus on the step in front of you, the step at hand, and you're going to get there. I mean, you won't even realize, but come the results, before that, come the exam, because you will have covered all the key topics, and we will have worked on exam technique, and you'll know early on, before that, you will have known what are your weaker areas and had time to address them. It will allow you to go into the exam confident. And then come the results, it's results day to day. We've had lots of really nice emails. You send me an email and let me and share with the team that you've smashed it. And it makes our day, okay? But just that first step's a huge one. So, thank you and well done on taking the decision to join a structured guided program. We're about to start a long journey. It's really hard work. You will be exhausted by the end of it. But what I really hope is not only will you be well prepared for AKT, but I hope by the end of this, you will be more prepared for any future exams when you do your SCA, for example, because a lot of the clinical things that you're going to learn for this are going to help set you up for that. You'll be familiar with all the guidelines, but also just to make you a better clinician. You'll be aware of a lot of the in-depth things. That's one of the things that I really love is when people send me an email, that thing we studied, I saw a patient with it. And I was in clinic Wednesday. And, some of the things that we were updating recently on some of the courses, some of the material, there's some of the things that came up. I recently did a presentation looking at the antenatal milestones. And one of our patients, presented her first consultation after she just found out she's pregnant. And so, we were going through some of those things. So as those things change and they get updated, that's really nice when you can relate what you're learning to patients that you're seeing. Okay, so let's make a start. For those that haven't met me before, my name is Muhibur Rahman. I'm a portfolio GP and the medical director of eMedica. So a portfolio GP is a GP with multiple roles. So I'm a partner in my own practice. Where I was on Wednesday, I'm one of the GPs at a secure unit for women with significant mental health illness. So I've got like a psych team that look after their mental health, but myself and the other GP, we look after all of their physical health, screening, prevention, just like anyone else. Someone with mental health illness who's under section can get a chest infection or a UTI or become pregnant or, all of those things, okay? So I did my own GP training in Neath Port Talbot in South Wales, and I passed my MRCGP with merit back in 2007. I was awarded FRCGP in 2019 for primarily my work in medical education and humanitarian medicine. I'm one of the authors for the Prescribing Safety Assessment, and I've written various books, articles, courses to help doctors get through MRCGP, but also trainers to help their registrars get through MRCGP. I used to be an examiner and invigilator for the GMC, and I continue to examine for Liverpool Medical School for OSCEs, and I'm on the NICE GP reference panel. So that panel looks at new NICE guidelines before they're published, and they seek feedback so that they can make it relevant for GPs or try to adapt it. So let's meet the rest of the team. So let me ask Masuda to say a few words. So Masuda Rahman is the Director of E-Learning at eMedica. She's been with us now for 15 odd years, has helped to develop a lot of the materials, and will be faculty for the courses and the webinars. So Masuda, I think I've said it, so you can turn your video on.
Okay, so welcome everybody to the Pass Guarantee program. We are going to be spending a lot of time together over the next 5 months, and you're going to be surprised how quickly we become part of your daily routine, how quickly those good study habits are going to become embedded, and how quickly your knowledge base is going to grow. Now, we may not be seeing you face to face, but the team here will be seeing your work coming in every day. We're going to be seeing you online. We're going to be answering your questions on those webinars. We're always surprised how well we feel we get to know you, how quickly we get attached to each new class. So really, this is just to say, it might not be easy. Learning takes quite a lot of effort, and it can feel really quite hard sometimes. So please remember that you're not going to be alone for any part of this process. From now all the way through to April, we're here to support you. Please get involved in the study group, get involved in the discussions. Please ask questions on the webinars. Please email us if there's anything you need us to know, if there's anything going on. If you're struggling, just email us, let us know what's happening. That's what we're here for. We're going to be watching your progress every day, right up to the exam. We're going to be thinking of you on the day. We're all nervous on exam day. We're going to be waiting with you right on the edge of our seats for those results. Whatever happens, remember we're here, and keep going. It will work out.
Thanks so much, Masuda. Okay, and Anna Greathead, you're going to see and hear a lot from as well. She's also part of the eMedica e-learning team and faculty for all course and webinars. She's also the main admin for the WhatsApp group. So we have a WhatsApp group for each cohort. So it's just for those doctors doing the 150-day program that are all going to be sitting in April. So you're at the same milestones and so on. Anna's currently on annual leave, so you'll meet her at the next live session, okay? But you'll be hearing a lot from Anna throughout the program. And I introduce you to Dr. Kennedy Umej, who's our AKT mentor. So what's unique about Kennedy is that he has been where you are, albeit a few years ago. So he completed one of the earlier versions of the Pass Guarantee program. It's been developed since then. We've added more material, we've expanded it. And one of the things that was really inspiring is that, Kennedy, as well as doing all his own work, he was always posting messages in the group. And usually you see there's a couple of doctors that take on this role of helping to inspire and motivate others. So, after he finished, and he did so well, he scored 95% overall. And, that's a phenomenally challenging score to get, okay? Because you need to have done really well in all three domains. So one of the highest scores ever in AKT. And so, we asked Kennedy to stay on. And since then, he's been supporting the future cohorts of the PGP via the WhatsApp group. So you'll see that he'll post messages in there. He'll be there for advice. He'll often let you, if you're struggling with a particular question or topic, let you as a group have some discussion, because there's a lot of learning in that discussion. But then, when you need that support, he'll be there to support. So let me hand you over to Kennedy so you can say a few words. You there, Kennedy?
All right. So you're all welcome. Let me just introduce myself briefly. I'm currently a portfolio GP, and by that I mean I work as a middle grade in the A&E some days in a week. I do locum jobs in the out of hours. I also do some teaching here and there. I'm here with you. And then I'm a salaried doctor in my surgery for 2 days in a week, and I'm the diabetes lead in the surgery. So that's quite a lot within a very short period after being in your shoe just some few years ago. And like he said, being in your shoe, I know what it feels like. You come in with that anxiety. You would have had some stories about how difficult the AKT is, how wild the curriculum is, how people struggle to pass our first sitting, and then how IMGs in particular don't do very well on the AKT. I just want to tell you all those stories, push them aside. And don't tell yourself if there's going to be one or two people that will pass this exam, it's going to be you. I'm just telling you the spirit with which I came into the Pass Guarantee program, because I personally struggle with structure in terms of, trying to organize my reading. So, and I made inquiries, I asked colleagues and say, what can organize my reading and give me time to, do other readings by the side? And someone told me to come into Pass Guarantee program. And like he said, what you only need to do is just follow your task. Do your work, believe in the program. By the time you're done with the scheme, you would have gone through all the, clinical skills, all the important areas, all the high yield sections. And then the little you're able to do on your own by the side, whether you're able to do it or not, will then be relevant, because you would have had all you need to have. So one thing you need to tell yourself from this first day, even from the orientation, that is you're going to key into this program. You're going to do your task timely. You're going to finish your task in a normal way. You are going to sacrifice a lot to be able to achieve success in the AKT. AKT is very easy to pass, but it requires your commitment. It is not an exam that you can just wait and crash within 3-4 weeks and pass. No. The work is slow and steady, and then knowledge is cumulative. As you keep going, you keep storing. Sometimes you forget, but when you get into the exam, you will see that you haven't really forgotten. So I'm not too intelligent. I just worked very hard. I believed in the program. I kept asking questions. I was active in the WhatsApp forum. Very soon they will send you a link. Some of you that will come into the WhatsApp forum, that is where I will be. That's where I'll be interacting with you. Most of the interactions will be on the forum. Very few people sometimes don't want to interact on the forum. I advise you to. But then very few people do ask some personal questions, especially close to the exams when they want to plan their reading. I will be there to support you. And just believe you, if you give your best to this process, once you're done with this exam, no subsequent exam based on the AKT CKS curriculum will be difficult for you. As I am now, I've had my diploma in the Royal College of Obstetrics and Gynecology. I'm about to complete exams for pediatrics, diploma in child health. I'm not reading much. It is most of the things I learned from this scheme. So I will be there for you in the WhatsApp forum. We'll be there to support you. Just key into the program and keep going.
Thank you so much, Kennedy. Nice to see you again. I'll catch up with you soon. Have a nice evening.
And you too. Bye.
Great. Okay, so and let me just introduce you to the rest of the team. So you get emails, and sometimes you might contact us and need support. But there's a whole team here that is dedicated to your success and to support you. So Selina Begum is our general manager. Tuba Jamil, you may already have received emails from her. Jubaida Khatun, she's in the support team, making sure that you get your welcome packs, getting you signed up for things like this webinar. Rabia Hussein and Laura Smith make sure that things like the videos after every live session get processed on time and onto your resources page. Rebecca Begum, part of our junior team, making sure that the things that need to be posted get posted, and making sure that everything's, the whole team is making sure everything runs smoothly and on time. So let me explain how the program works, and then if you've got any questions, we'll take those. So remember, this is a 5-month program, and the content of this program is exactly the same as the content of our 90-day program. The difference is that you've got 5 months to spread it out. So what that means, the first 4 months, so days 1 to 120, the first 4 months, you'll get an email every other day with daily tasks and weekly tasks. So the daily tasks need to be done before the next email hits. So you've got 48 hours. And some of you will do some of it on the first day and some of it on the second day. That might be one of the reasons why you chose the 5-month program, because maybe you've got, young kids that you've got caring duties. Maybe you've got family members, who you care for. Maybe you've got a busy rota. And so you might not be able to do everything on one day. That's okay. The first 4 months, you've got 2 days to get all of the daily tasks done. The weekly task, there's a set deadline. You'll see that, but it'll be at least 1 week. Okay, sometimes it's slightly longer than a week. And then, some of you, if you get it done on the first day, the second day, you'll have a chance maybe to look over some of your notes, revise, or have some downtime. But some of you, you're going to split it between day 1 and day 2. That first 4 months is every other day. The last month before the exam, you're going to get work set every single day. And so the intensity increases significantly in that last month. But for a lot of people, 1 month, they can manage that level of intensity. And if in that period you've got some study leave or annual leave that you can use, that will be helpful, because right up into the lead up to the exam, it needs to be intense, because we also need to build up your stamina by doing some full-time mock so that you get used to managing that level of concentration for that many questions for that long. Okay. So when you get that email, and I'll show you what each email looks like shortly, it will have a question of the day and related reading. It will have a series of online revision questions from our question bank. In terms of reading, we use the Oxford Handbook of General Practice as a base text, but then we use nationally published guidelines, which is what they use for the real exam, as source material. So things like NICE CKS, for example. Alongside the daily tasks, there will be weekly tasks. So some of those will have some learning exercises. Some of them, there'll be some videos of workshops to watch and then questions to answer to make sure you've learned it. There might be some online revision questions from MRCGP self-test, so you get exposed to different questions. We get you to do some MRCGP knowledge challenges. Okay, so again, I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Now, most of you will already have the Oxford Handbook of GP. It needs to be the 5th edition. If you had an old one from someone and it's the 4th edition, that's no good. Because pretty much everything has changed. Even the 5th edition, because it was published 2020, there are some guidelines which maybe the management has moved on since, for things like how things are diagnosed, most of that stayed the same. So there'll be some things that you read here as a base, but later on you'll see when we do some questions on the question bank, we've updated it to the newer guideline. And certainly when we do the teaching at the live sessions, they'll all be based on the latest guidelines. Okay. If you don't have it, you've still got time. Someone will post this link, but you can get it from Amazon next day. It'll be with you, certainly by the weekend, in time for you to start. Okay. And one of the things that I recommend you do, because there's lots to do, we've broken it down, but within that, if you just enjoy the little wins. So in your welcome pack, there's a daily progress tracker. It's the other side of that flyer that shows that journey of 1,000 miles image. Okay. So, when you've completed all of the work in email 1, so you're going to get 90 of the daily emails from us. Remember, every other day for the first 60 of these, then the last 30 will be every day. Okay. So when you've finished all of the work in email 1, tick it off, stick it on a notice board. And, it's empty at the beginning, but each time you get that sense of satisfaction when you tick it. When you get to the bottom here, you're like, okay, I'm really making progress. When you get here, I'm halfway now. When you get here, I'm nearly in that last stretch. Okay. And then when you get here, you look back at this and you think, wow, I know every one of those ticks I had to work for. There's a real sense of achievement. Again, in your welcome pack, there's a printed curriculum checklist where we've taken about 600 of the most important topics for this exam from the RCGP new curriculum. But, that document's huge. The RCGP curriculum is like 200 and something pages. But what we've done is in 36 pages, we've made it an actual checklist. So again, at the beginning, it's all empty, right? When you've done a topic, tick it off. When you've learned it through the program, tick it off. Again, the evening before the exam, you're going to look back at this and every single box will be ticked because we will have covered them all. It just will boost your confidence going into the exam. And then there's your resource pages. So when you log in, when you get the email, at the bottom of every email, there will be a reminder of the next live session. So your next live session is the 7th of December. That's High Yield Revision Webinar 1. Be about an hour and 10 minutes where we'll go through questions, do teaching on the relevant topics. We'll check in on how you're getting on because you'll be sort of like 7 emails into the program at that stage. But at the bottom of every email, there's this green bar that says resource page. When you click that, there's a link to, so those of you, for example, that have just signed up late, maybe you haven't got your physical welcome pack, on the resources page, which I'll show you in a minute, you'll be able to access the downloadable versions of all of these things. But that's also where there'll be the links to all of the recorded sessions, including this session. They'll all appear on your resources page automatically You don't need to email us. You don't need to contact us for it. It automatically will update a few days after each live session as soon as the team have processed it. Okay. So that's the resource page. All right. And this is what it looks like. So for example, if you were to go onto the resource page for a program that's finished, there'll be videos for high yield 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, full day AKT course, AKT 200, stats course, admin course, high yield clinical grammar 1, high yield clinical grammar 2, everything. When you start, you'll be able to download your timetable. You'll be able to download some sample topic reviews, various links here, but there'll be no videos. This video will appear, the orientation video will appear like a link like this, but after we've had that first hour and a bit teaching session in December, you'll see a link like this will appear, High Yield Webinar 1, and you'll be able to click that to watch the video. You'll be able to click this to download the teaching slides that go with the video. And the same will happen after each live session, okay? So let me show you what the emails look like. So you actually get one even before the program starts, okay? So the program starting on the 26th, the day before that, you'll get this welcome email, which will just basically give you a chance to watch this video of this session if you want to go over it again, and a link to join the WhatsApp group. Okay, we can't add you to the WhatsApp group because of data protection and so on. You need to add yourself, but the link will be in that welcome email. And then there'll also be Oxford Handbook reading, which pages to read. This reading is to serve you. Okay, if there's a topic you're already familiar with, you might skim it quite quickly. If there's a topic you're less confident in, you might read it really carefully. But it's just to get you started with some of the reading beforehand, okay? And then again, a link to your resources page and so on, okay? The actual emails start on the 26th. So day one email, this is what it will look like, okay? There'll be, again, a link to the orientation video that will only be there on those first two. After that, you won't get that again, okay? But it will be on your resources page. There's a welcome exercise. So one of the things we want you to do is start getting hold of and understanding your weaker areas right from the beginning. So if you put your name in, and then if you use the same email, like I'm going to put our email, it's the email if you need to contact us about anything, but you're going to put the same email that you registered with so that we can, make sure we put all your data together. Because one of the big things in this program, we track everything. So we track data in the first 2/3, half of the program, and we'll work out which are your weaker areas so that in the last part of the program, each of you will have a different set of learning to do. You get a targeted revision plan unique to you, okay? So what we want you to do is think about some topics that you have never found easy, you've always found challenging, or you don't like to read, and we're going to get you to tackle them. Now, it's important that each of these topics need to be something that you could do in an evening. So don't put the whole of ENT, that's not possible. But, many years you could do, okay? Or audiograms you could do, okay? So once you've done that, you're going to submit it. We'll know which areas, and then later you're going to work. Your first weekly task is actually to make a topic review about each of those topics. So you're starting to learn about things that you have always found challenging. But the main structure of each email, there's a question of the day. So you click that. Again, you put in your registered email. You read the question, pick an answer. When you click next, it will tell you if you got it right or wrong. Whether you got it right or wrong, read the explanation here, then click through and read the relevant guideline, okay? We'll take you directly to the bit that's relevant to you, okay? So that, you've learned that topic. Then there's a set of online questions, okay? So again, I'm just going to show you how you do it. You go through and log in, and I'm going to start again. Again, you're going to put your name so that we can track that everything for the same person, we can track your scores, okay? So with the online revision questions, each one's a set of 20. So if you're reading it carefully, reading the explanations, if you get it right, reading this is probably enough, okay? If you get one wrong, then what you might want to do is, as well as reading this, you might think, okay, the fact that I got that wrong, maybe I also want to know what should I expect, what kind of sound might I expect if it was mitral regurg or if it was aortic regurg, and you might read a little bit more in detail. Basically, when you get to the 20th question, as soon as you've answered the 20th question, it will send us your scores. And because you've put your email, we can make sure then we track the scores and build a picture of, okay, these are the areas you might need a bit more support on compared to your friend, okay? Now, on a weekday, generally, there's one question of the day and one online revision section. On a weekend, there's usually 2. The work doubles up. Then there'll be case cards. Again, you'll have physical deck of case cards in your welcome box. But before you've got them, if you want to, or if let's say you think, in between patients, I've got 10 minutes, I'll do a case card. I haven't got my set with me. I left it at home. Okay, you can just click that button for the digital case cards, log in, and then it will allow you to have a look. So like that first one, it said to read case card number 1 and number 2. Okay, so number 1 and number 2, I'm going to read those and learn that. Okay, and then there's details of your weekly task, and the weekly task you submit via a link, details of further reading before you get the next email, again, link to your resources page, and so on. So that's how the emails work. Essentially, start at the top, work your way down, do all of the work. Just a quick reminder about not unsubscribing. Again, to meet data protection regulations, we have to allow you the option to unsubscribe from receiving further emails. We don't want to send anyone emails that doesn't want our emails. Do you see? So there's a link here to unsubscribe, and there's a link here, one click unsubscribe. If you click either of those, you won't get any more emails from us. What you're saying is that you don't want to be part of the program anymore. So please don't click it. Okay, we have to put it there for good data protection management, if you like. Okay, but if you click it by mistake, contact us, we'll add you back. The problem is if you do it too many times, even if we add you back, your email provider might think this is a bit dodgy. This person's clicked an unsubscribe link because they're tracked. And this company keeps adding them back. This is dodgy. They might actually then put your email onto what's called a suppression list, i.e. you will not be able to receive further emails from us. So that's important. Okay, so please don't unsubscribe unless you really want to unsubscribe. Okay, so generally that's not something you want to do. And I leave you with these really important keys to success. The first is mindset matters. Michael Corder said, to succeed, we must first believe that we can. I want you all, whether it's your first attempt or whether you've joined this program because you've sat it once or more than once and you didn't pass before, I want to start from today with this thought in your mind that I am going to pass my AKT. And to start with that at the front of your mind, but to keep that with you. That's really important. Why? Because there's a big difference between what we call a growth mindset. So someone with a growth mindset, if they make a mistake, they see that as an opportunity to learn. Oh, you know what? The fact I got this wrong, it's good that I've identified this is a topic I need to read up on. Let me read up on it, and then I'll understand why I got it wrong, and then I'll be able to get it right. I will have mastered the topic. Whereas someone with sometimes described as a negative mindset or a static mindset, or there's lots of other names for it, but not a growth mindset. If you start with a negative attitude, with you know what, I'm going to fail, this is too hard. The minute you get something wrong, you go into spiral. I knew it, and now I've got this wrong. I can't even do this. And what happens is you might sit there and do the work, but you're not going to process it. Your brain actually is shutting down because of that mindset. So it's really important to start with that positive attitude and a growth mindset, that every mistake you make is an opportunity to learn. And that if you're getting questions wrong, that means that we're picking the right questions, because we're picking hard questions to test you, and we're covering subjects that you don't already know. If you get everything right, then it means that we're giving you the wrong questions, or they're too easy. Okay? You're not learning then, are you? If you give everything right, it means that we're not covering anything that's beneficial to you. So, that's really, really important. And then after that is to be consistent. Make sure you do your daily tasks on time. There'll be days when you've had a hard shift and you're tired. You've got to do it. You've got to find time. If you can't do it on that first day, do something and then finish it off the second day. But you've got to get it done so that you keep on top of it. Consistency is really important. All right. And then your weekly task, you've got a deadline. It's there. In every email, it will say when the next deadline for the next weekly task is. Just make sure you get it done on time. Focus on the learning, not your scores. So this is a whole program of learning. Our questions are hard on purpose. They're there to stimulate learning. They're not there to assess, are you ready? When we do mocks right near the end, they will help you assess, are you ready? But even they are designed to help you to learn. So, we have high challenge questions, because if you make mistakes and then do the deeper reading, it's going to stick into your long-term memory better. It's scientific. Okay, there's reasons behind it. So don't worry about your scores. Most people will get most of the questions of the day wrong for a big chunk of the program. Most people won't get great scores until the last couple of weeks of the program. Okay. Even Kennedy, who got 95% overall. In some of these sections, he was getting 50%, 60%, not passing. Okay. So it's really important that you understand the purpose and what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to learn. So don't worry about your scores. All right. Your scores that you need to worry about are the ones on results day. As long as you've got it when you get to the exam, and you will have it by the time you get to the exam, as long as you do all of these things. Start with a positive mindset, be consistent with your work, focus on the learning, not your scores. Come the results, you're going to smash it, okay? Because every question you get wrong is an opportunity to learn. Right, so that's my message to you. I want to say again, for anyone that hasn't got questions, thank you for putting your trust in us. Welcome to the program. Myself and the whole eMedica team are here to help support you, to motivate you, to get you over that finish line so that you pass your exam. And then, you pass your SCA, get your CCT. And the fun part of being a GP is the next 30 years. GP training isn't fun, right? But the fun part of GP, if you love family medicine, is the next 30 years afterwards, when you carve out your own career, okay? I'm still enjoying every clinic I do. Kennedy's doing lots of different things. He's still, building his portfolio career and enjoying it, as you can see. Okay, so any questions, let's get to them. Myself and the team will answer those. But for those that haven't got questions, I remind you again, a huge welcome to the program. Well done on taking that first step. We're with you every single step of the way until you pass your exam. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and I look forward to seeing you on the program.